Welcome back to the We Don't Know Stuff podcast.
Hey.
We're here. We got a milestone episode, episode 10.
Oh, shit. 10 deep.
The big 1-0.
Wow.
That Tim Hardaway. That Lionel Messi.
I was going to say
that,
Messi. That Diego Maradona.
Yeah.
The legends. There's some legendary 10s. Yeah. Well, in soccer, the 10 is always your guy. He's going to be the legend.
Mane?
People don't understand, like, kit numbers here in the U.S. Because you just use one number here forever.
Man, you know who's a good number 10?
Oh,
Kobe on the Olympic team.
I thought about that. But Kobe was doing that because he knows about
he knows
kit numbers.
He knows the plug. Yeah. Right, because right when you said that, that's what clicked in my head. Like, oh, Kobe would know.
Yeah. Kobe, that's why Kobe rocked that 10. That's why I remember when he had that 10.
Yeah,
I kind of want that 10 jersey. I like
it. It's popping. Yeah. He knew the business. And that Team USA jersey was fire, too.
Yeah, they had some nice ones back then.
That was fire.
Before Nike got
2012.
wacky. Yeah, Nike got wacky with it and fucked it all up. Anyways, so episode 10, jeez.
Real quick, over under, 3. How many Marlboro men have died? Over under 3.
Fuck. I'm gonna say, because it feels like I would get the wrong answer if I guessed like the more logical one. I'm gonna say under 3.
Under 3?
Yeah.
You're wrong. 4 Marlboro men have died.
Fuck, man. And I was thinking 4.
Should have took the over.
I should have took the over. Because that was my gut. See, people, that's how it fucking works. When you listen to your gut and you fucking start thinking about things like you know better, like, you don't know shit. You know? Welcome to the podcast.
We don't know stuff for sure.
Anyway, so episode 10, we're one episode removed from my little shroom trip episode.
Yeah, so if you guys didn't tune into the last episode, or if you I don't know why you would skip, or if you're new,
it happens.
Episode 9, Chuey actually took like 2.5 grams or so, give or take, of some psilocybin mushrooms and did the podcast. And I guess let's hear about how you. Well, what do you remember? Like, how was it?
It was okay. Well, let me give some a little bit of backstory. I've been, I guess, I hadn't dabbled in psychedelics for a long time, since I was probably young, since we were hanging out and we were doing psychedelics. But we were see, the thing about that is we were treating psychedelics as like a party drug. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
we were expecting. Well, not expecting, but I guess we were doing it for different reasons.
Right, like we just wanted to get high, we wanted to get drunk, and we wanted to see shit. Like, oh man, I want to see some fucking cool shit, or I want to trip out. Sometimes you just even wanted that bad trip just to say you fucking had it. You know what I mean? Like, whoa.
I don't know about that, but
well, maybe me. I'm a little bit, of a psycho. But so after those days were done and gone, like I never thought about psychs again, because I was just like, yeah, that was fun, but it wasn't anything great. Like, I never saw anything that was too wild.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, saw things move. Maybe every once in a while,
the wall
you
or
did
the carpet or something, or hair colors,
whatever,
changing,
or you got immersed in your zone.
Right,
like one time, I remember a trip where like I was playing video games on a TV, and the TV just like consumed basically the whole. Like tight. Room, the wall. Yeah, that was a dope one. Yeah, trust me, that was a cool one where I was just like, oh shit, like, wow, this is working to my benefit right now. But anyways, I'd never thought I would probably fuck with psychedelics again. I was like, all right, those days are done and gone.
Yeah, I was kind of like that too.
I ended up before it even started blowing up on the internet, before even like Rogan was talking about it and all that. Like, I had met once I had moved back to the area from selling my house, getting rid of my house and coming back over here. I met a person who's fairly successful, very successful actually, and they had told me that a lot of their success had come from taking psychedelics, and I was like, what? yeah, like it was like some,
like, successful how,
like just
in their business life, like in their.
So yes to that, but life in general, is what they really meant. But that was part of what made that life in general. But I fell under the category.
what did their success stem from? Directly from that or indirectly?
No. Indirectly.
Okay.
They said that they were already succeeding, and then they took some, and then it took them to the next
Basically,
level.
I was asking, were they selling it and making bread? You know what I mean? That was the question, but I just tried to not be such a dick about it.
No way. But yeah, that would have been funny because that would have changed everything. Yeah, I would have been like, yeah, get the fuck out of here. Okay, what else do you got? Like, some Coke, some fucking some magic Coke that's gonna make you a millionaire. No. So whatever. No, they weren't selling it. They were just being really. It was just a person who was pretty successful, like monetary wise, was already in the millionaire club, and was just still very hippied out and spiritual. You know what I mean? That's
cool.
And
they kind of held on to themselves instead of letting the money take over.
Right, exactly. And they were just like, they were just trying to find out what the next step was. Right? You know what I mean? Just in general terms. And so I bought into a lot of it because I was like, oh, shit, okay. Because of that. Because of who the person was and how they were behaving, you know what I mean, in their position, which is a semi-unique position, right?
Right.
And especially here in Hollywood and LA, that could spoil the average person fucking rotten, right? So I was like, okay. He got me to like a psychedelics connect, and he was just like, yeah, man, like he's like, take the psychs and try searching. You know what I mean? Try searching because they're going to lead you somewhere, but you got to accept it.
And when you say psychedelics, he gave you mushrooms or?
It was mushrooms. He had access to DMT, he had access to acid, he had access to all of that. And he was just like, he gave me the mushrooms. He had asked me what I had done before, which was mostly mushrooms. Right. I'd only done mushrooms and acid before when we were younger. And I
never did acid.
And mostly mushrooms. Yeah,
I only did mushrooms like a couple times, like when I was young.
The two are interchangeable in terms of like, if you talk to people that have done both, some people there's always going to be your acid people.
One or the other, yeah, of course.
Yeah. And the trip's not that much different. I didn't want to take acid for a long time because I heard it was a much crazier trip and it was just super hardcore.
I get that. That's not what kind of kept me away. I think what kept me away was more I don't like drugs that were produced in a lab.
Right. Like
homemade or even professional. Like, I don't like that kind of shit. I don't want that shit. Like, because you never know, like...
No, right.
That backstory behind that shit. It's like weed for sure. Like, I mean, man, the worst is it's got, like, some mold in it or they sprayed it with some pesticides, right? That's your worst case scenario. And those are bad cases. Don't get me wrong. Right. But those are your worst case scenarios. And you can either spot it, feel it or smell it most of the time. So
no. There's definitely
you could kind of tell the difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially like we've been smoking weed for a very long time, so we can easily tell the difference.
Oh,
but
yeah.
So that's why it was only like mushrooms and weed. That's it. Like,
that makes
that's the only things I would really like to fuck with.
Because those are two very natural things.
Right.
Very like holistic, I guess, things.
Right.
But yeah, so I did that, and I started finding, it's funny because it came out at a time when I was starting to read a lot of philosophy, a lot of psychology books too.
So you're getting in your head.
Yeah, so the culmination of that, and then just being able to take a trip responsibly, as opposed to just being like, I'm going to do all kinds of other shit with this, and oh, man, I want to see a little goblin and shit. Nah, man.
Right, like plus crazy. With the new changes in your life, like,
right,
it was a new experience.
Right, plus I was at a new level. I was in my 30s. You know, the last time I had tried shrooms, I was maybe in my early to mid-20s, maybe. You know what I mean?
Probably early 20s, because I don't think I was 21 yet at that time. So you had to have been early 20s.
Yeah, so it was something like that. But anyways, I got it. It made sense to me, and I was like, "This is crazy. This is amazing.
Yeah,
this is amazing. Like, I can't believe it. I can't believe this has been like pushed off to the side because even I allowed to demonize it myself the way that it's being done so in the public public eye, like how weed was for a long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like it's so fucking harmless. So. Now getting back to the previous episode where, like, I did that, like, the point of doing that wasn't to be, you know, clickbaity or shock value. It wasn't just to be like, haha, we did an episode where, like, Chuey took shrooms, man, and he was like,
no, yeah, like, dumb. That's why we mentioned it on air, but we never described it or advertised it.
We didn't even lean into the episode that way.
No, we didn't.
You know, so For me, it was a little bit of an experiment, and it was an experiment to see how much I can control, being present in the current, the collective reality, I guess you could call it, meaning the same reality that both me and you can both exist in at the same time. And be semi-functional, be able to hold a conversation, be able to talk, and I had listening back to it, of course, because I know my own voice. And, oh man, I knew the moments where I was just lost, and also about the dosage too, like for the past. So ever since I got reintroduced to the psychs and I learned that they could be very useful, like I've been experimenting with doses for the past, year or so.
Right.
So I've tested a 2-gram dose, a 1-gram dose, a half-gram dose. You know what I mean? Like I've tested all of them, all the way up to 4 grams. So I kind of knew where I lied to. It also wasn't just like I was gonna just throw myself into the fire.
Right,
like I wasn't winging it completely. Where it was like, fuck it, if I disappear on Nate, I don't know what's gonna happen. Whatever. Like, whoop, just float away. But yeah, no, like re-listening to that podcast. This is the first time I've been so anxious to re-listen to the episode because I had no idea how it went.
Right, because you weren't as coherent as you thought you would be.
Right. And since I knew I was hitting like a lot of walls, even as I was having conversations with you, because I was just like getting lost, but still there. Like I was still able to keep myself there just like slightly. I was proud of how well I fought it, actually, listening to it, remembering what I was going through too. Like there was a moment, and I'm trying to keep this as normal as possible because I hope that people got that from listening to that episode too, that on 2.5 grams I was still able to have a conversation with Nate. Not a very focused one, but
right. I think if anybody would have been listening and we never said anything, they probably would have thought you were buzzed.
Yeah.
Or maybe you had
how I felt from me listening to it,
if
it sounded like I was a little bit buzzed. Exactly that. Like I was just on the brink of going drunk.
Yeah.
Like it was a little slurry. Like just like, yeah, like what do you think about like I was talking a little bit slower, whatever, but I was still engaged in the conversation.
Just not as sharp and not always on the scene. So
let me explain the sharpness. Like there were little moments where I would look away like normal. Like I'm in this room. Sometimes I'm not 100% directly looking at you. But there was moments where I looked away. And when I looked back at you, like your face was starting to shift on me as I was talking to you. And I was just, at this point, like those things don't freak me out anymore either because I know they're going to happen. I've looked in a mirror while I've been on shrooms. Whatever.
That's always the worst one.
I always do it.
It's not worse like as bad, but it's like...
Fuck.
It's always the worst because it's the most probably extreme part of it.
I'll tell you why I do it too. And I like to do it as soon as I know I'm starting to go because I want to go look in the mirror and as soon as my face starts shifting or melting, whatever starts happening first, it could be either or. But I just like the feeling of just like, oh yeah, I'm nothing. Like
Mirror World is wild.
Like I'm nothing. Like I like the human version of me just starts dissolving, and then it reminds me that I'm something even beyond human. But that's next level. Like a few trips in, man. So you guys will understand that. But
besides the obvious like slurring and the occasional like wandering in your mind, like. I'm pretty sure what your answer is, but like, is it something you would do again, or is it something you would think about either ratcheting up a little bit and seeing how that experience would be, or just coming back down a little bit, or even just microdosing?
So okay, before I start that though, I just remembered one more thing. Like one time I looked up at you and your fucking eyeball was in your cheek, like where your cheekbone is. It was down here. I was just like, oh shit.
That's that Google.
Yeah, I fixed it. I just looked away real quick, and when I looked back, your eye was back. I was like, oh shit. I was like, damn. That was a funny one though. But yeah. I don't remember at what point, but I was keeping it together. But back to your point, like, would I try it again? You mean on air or just in general?
Like in general, not on air.
Oh no, in general, after I was experimenting with doses, And the way I was experimenting with doses is every other weekend, obviously, I get a break from my son. So every other weekend, I would experiment with the dose.
Okay.
So every other weekend, I'd be like, this is the weekend where I do 1 gram. Okay, this is the weekend where I do 1.5 grams. This is the weekend where I do 3. This is the one where I do a full 8, 3.5, right? 3.5 grams. And so when I was doing it like that, like, yeah, I was doing it more often, obviously. But I was trying to figure things out. I was trying to figure out where I landed. What was the ideal dosage for me, right?
I get you.
And for me, the ideal dosage, honestly, is just actually, I don't know if it's because I've built a tolerance while doing that. That might have happened, right? It's possible that happened. But for me now, the perfect dosage for me to get inside of my mind and still know I'm here, but disappear enough that I'm not distracted by this real world, and I can just really concentrate on, my next move. It feels like once I go in there, I always figure out my next move. That's how I feel when I come out, So it's a whole 1/8. It's 3.5 grams.
That makes sense.
For me. Yeah. And I still stay here. So, like, for me, an epic dose would probably be the most common one, which would probably be the 5. Because I've gone up to 4, and even at 4, I don't completely disappear. Yeah. I stay grounded. But to that, like, so, no, it's not something that I need to do all the time.
Right.
So I also don't want to promote it as that.
Yeah,
it's not also like, hey, yeah, like every weekend, like I fucking shroom trip, man. No, it's not. See, it's not even that. It's just sometimes I need. Everybody every once in a while gets caught in a fog. Like, what's my next move? What's my next direction? And they call that whenever they feel. Some people, it takes them to feel really depressed and fucking really weird about themselves. Like, fuck, I'm a loser. Like, am I just going to be doing this for the rest of my life? Like, some people, it takes that. Other people are just on it. Like, they have a schedule where it's just like, wait a minute, what was I supposed to do this coming up month? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
that brain fog.
Yeah, right. And they can't hit that. And it kind of helps with that, to me. If you accept it that way and you just don't freak yourself out too much about it. Like, here's the thing about bad trips. Like, if you're not completely ready, they're going to happen, and they need to happen.
Right.
Because there's a fear locked inside of you that's causing that. You know what I mean? And the sooner you have that bad trip and get it out of the way, I feel like, okay, you're releasing that fear a little bit. And you come back out into this real world with some of that subconscious fear kind of eliminated, and you'll notice it. You'll feel the difference. At least I do. You know what I mean? Like, I can only tell you what I know from experience.
And that's just more of you trying to connect with yourself,
right,
inside, right? Like your conscious connecting with your subconscious.
Well, my conscious being, who I am beyond this human body, because I know I exist beyond this human body. Obviously, you know what I mean. So, yeah, that's pretty. I'm trying to find out what the fuck's going on inside of me deep in there. Like, what am I still scared of? What am I excited about? What am I confident about? Like, I need to find those things too and drag them out into this world, right? Because sometimes they're stuck and they're locked in there. Like you said, there's so much fucking happening in this real world and so many other things that you're worried about. Like, another problem people have is not being present, right?
Yep.
And so it's like, some people say they're living a great, comfortable, stress-free life and this and that, and they're telling you all their plans for the future. And that's great and all. And I guess to a point where, like, it's going to sound weird to say this, but, like, when people say that they hope for something, I almost see that as, like, a negative term now. It's just like, what? Like, how can hoping for something be negative? Like, it's good to have hope. But it's just, like, to me, hope is also, like, can you have hope for just today? Like, the day, today. Like, for fucking Tuesday. Like, I hope Tuesday is a great day, right? Or I hope the next hour or the next minute. But hope is always thinking about something so future or so ahead, right? For the most part. Or it's a saving grace for something.
I mean, hope is a cop-out, in my opinion. It's just a cop-out. Like, if you want something to happen, if you're hoping, air quotes, hoping.
Yeah, like
something,
wishing.
Yeah, like wishing something's going to happen. That means you want something to happen for you.
Right.
But you're not willing to make something happen for yourself.
Right, like make it happen.
And it's like, yo, I was always hoping to get this podcast started with you. And then one day I just said, fuck it. I'm going to buy the equipment and we're going to do this podcast.
Yeah. You took action.
Like,
and then once you took action, it caught my eye and I was just like,
and it's
whoa,
like, we're doing the podcast.
We're doing the
like,
fucking
that's it.
podcast. Yeah, it's happening.
So it's beyond, like, forget hope.
Yeah, it's just action. But
action.
In order to be there, you needed to live in that moment in order to go online in that moment and fucking purchase the equipment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of thinking, fuck, I want to do the podcast. Instead of thinking days ahead, why aren't you thinking, no, what can I do today to make the fucking podcast happen, right?
Right.
So that's where I see it, like, where it's like, to me, I'm already, like, at a level where even that term, like, hope, isn't so much even a positive term anymore.
Hope
I see it the opposite.
Hope.
Oh, shit, you're going to make campaign posters?
Hope is a joke.
And Nathan for president, wins the next presidential election.
It's coming up, 2020.
2020. Hope is a joke.
Hope is a joke.
Vote for Nate. So that was my little shroom experiment. It was because, I mean, you know what? It happens to me with weed. You know how often, like, people that don't smoke come around me and they know me already aside from knowing that I smoke, and then they come into my world and they see me function and I'm just like, I just have to smoke sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, even when I'm just hanging out, like, so I ask people because I'm courteous. I'm like, hey, do you guys mind if I light this joint right here? You know, like, hey, if you guys don't, like, I don't really have to smoke, right? Like,
right.
You know what I mean? But it's just a common courtesy, right? And everybody usually is just like, no, whatever, fuck it. And then I smoke and people just see that I don't change much. Like, I probably just mellow out. And then, like, after a few times doing it, they're like, you know what? Let me try that. You know what I mean? And before you know it, like, they're smoking and they're believing in it. And I'm always like, I have to pick their brain. And I'm like, okay, you didn't smoke before you were around me. Like, what changed? And and I try to hit them with some pointers. I was like, did you see the fact that I was still able to be functional, that I was still able to be responsible? Also, like, I tell people all the time, because I must be an old man, I guess, but, like, my favorite things to do when I'm high are run errands, dude. Like, go on missions. Yeah, like, regardless, like, so those are my missions nowadays. Before it was like a mission to go, like, oh, we're gonna go do something fun and smoke a blunt somewhere, we're gonna be high and everything's gonna be great. No, it's like, now I want to smoke a joint and I want to go fucking shop for some groceries, you know what I mean? Or do some shit like that. Like, go pay some bills somewhere. Go send some mail. Like
go get some gas.
Go get some gas, yeah. Fuck yeah. Like, doing missions and just... So you learn to just be functional in that world, right? In that regular world, just like everybody else. Like, you see people that are fucking tired that look worse than you when you're at your highest point, right?
It's
you know what I mean? Like, they look fucked up. It's and like you're just happy.
It's like in How High when Redman was like, I study high, take the test high, get high scores.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Get high scores in life, motherfuckers.
Right. Like, just get high scores in life.
No, but seriously, and also when I'm high and I'm doing these errands, you know what's happening? Like, I'm outside in my area to run errands, though, in Long Beach, because we've discussed this before. Parking is fucking retarded. Thank you, Los Angeles and Long Beach, and just overpopulation. Thank you, humans. But anyway, like,
you're welcome.
So I like to fucking, sometimes even just grocery shopping is a walking mission. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, what am I going to get? Can I walk back with it? All right, I go walk back with it. I'll go. One time I had to fix my sink, and they have like an Ace Hardware hidden in the side of a little neighborhood.
Damn, what the hell?
Yeah, that shit's cool though, because it's a fucking hardware store.
Yeah, but Long Beach is weird like that. It's like everything's always like in some weird.
Oh yeah, there's little pockets.
Yeah.
Like some wild
Long Beach
shit you'll
is really
find.
weird like that.
Well,
it's a big ass city too.
Yeah, but in one neighborhood you see so much different architecture too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it'll go from Victorian to super modern to Spanish to whatever. But anyway, so it'll be a walking mission to go to this fucking Ace Hardware. And I'm having the fucking greatest time of my life. Like, I'm happy that the sun's out. I'm happy that the sky's looking a certain kind of blue, dude. Like, I'm totally hippied out the game. But it's because I'm fucking doing this mission high and I'm happy. Otherwise, like, how often when you're not high or you're just on a regular zone, or even when you were just younger, was a mission like that such a pain in the ass because you were inside your head about it? Like, man, I gotta fucking walk now to fix my sink. You know, I gotta go on this fucking bitch ass mission. Like, I'm gonna get hot halfway through because the sun's blasting. You know what I mean? And all that shit. But maybe it's just me living next to a fucking beach too, man. Maybe I'm just kidding myself. Because maybe there's just, I think the ocean owns us, dude, in some weird fucking psychological way too. But that's another shroom trip.
What it probably is it's probably the dolphins, and they're speaking to you
through like magnetic force, maybe.
Just through sound waves, but like low pitched, and only you can hear them.
Oh, like sonar that's coming out of the water,
and they're just
they're manipulating me.
Yeah, but it's like locked onto you.
I'm like Dolphin Ambassador 1 of the humans, and they're just using me to like fucking sneak my message in there. Like, they're like, he mentioned us on a podcast.
But already. that's why you're scared of them, because they abducted you one time.
As long as
like
there
aliens.
was no rapey shit. You know what I mean? Like, okay with getting abducted, but no rapey shit in my story.
Oh my God, I can't believe this is the second podcast we're talking about rapey dolphins.
I mean, people need to know. I'm not ashamed to be letting the fucking public know that there's rapey fucking dolphins out there.
All right, let's switch gears here.
But anyways, let me just finish off with that was my shroom trip. It was an experiment, but it was an experiment in living in dabbling in the gray area between deep consciousness and current reality or collective reality. And I think I did a fair job, so hopefully I represented psychedelics in a good way to people. And people could know that it's not just like, man, if I take shrooms, I'm going to fucking, oh my gosh, I'm scared that I might see the fucking devil, or, you know what I mean, that the room or something crazy might happen. Nothing crazy is going to happen. Whatever crazy that is going to happen is going to be a creation of your mind and your deep inner consciousness. So whatever's in there, maybe it's a good way to get it out. But I also suggest testing doses. Like, even the dose I took wasn't high for me. And I still, like I said, was seeing things like Nate's face melting a little bit, but not in a fucking crazy way. Like, it was okay. I just had to concentrate on the fact that I knew I was talking to a being. And I can hear their voice coming at me. But other than that, yeah, I hope I did a good representation of psychedelics for people out there that are weary about trying them.
Well, I think last week we really touched on, this week we're really touching on your personal experience, but last week, I don't know how coherent enough you are to remember it, but we talked about...
Well, I re-listened to the episode.
All right,
so.
okay, we talked about the microdose study, right?
Yeah, the mice.
So there's many studies going on that have been going on for many years about this. So it's like, don't just take a bunch of stoners' words for it. Like,
yeah, no. Don't take my word. That was me doing my personal thing. But psychedelics is basically, it's on its way. It's making progress, and they're using it to actually help people.
Right. I mean, like my thing is just look into the studies. Just Google it.
Look up MAPS. Go to maps.com because that's the I forget what MAPS stands for. But that's the main organization that like does all of the major studies other than Johns Hopkins University. So look up MAPS. I don't know if it's maps.org, maps.com. That's why I kind of wish I knew.
I was going to say maps.com. That shit sounds like it's going to take me to Google.
Maps.com is going to take you to fucking, what was the first map?
Maps.com actually takes me to
a map maker?
To a e-commerce map store.
Oh, shit.
That's pretty awesome.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I might have to check this out. I do want to put up like a giant wall map right here in the studio. I think that'd be dope.
Look at that one of just the South for $60. God damn, what the fuck?
I'm good on that.
Damn, okay.
I'm good on that.
Okay, it's got to be like maps.org then.
Let's try maps.org.
Yeah, try maps.org because I want people to be able to look this up.
Maps.org.
I think this is important. They've been using it to treat PTSD, like just depression in general, and to get people off those fucking antidepressants. There you go. That's the one.
Oh, yeah.
So what does it stand for? Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies. MAPS. There you go. Go on that website, maps.org, and you'll
a bunch of
learn a lot.
Here.
But pretty much, I think Seattle already put it on the ballot to legalize it. It's pretty much the next one to be legalized. And quite honestly, before people like freak out, guess what? Weed also falls under the category of psychedelic. It's just like a small. It's just like it's just a small grade psychedelic. It's probably the lowest grade one, but that's why some of you get fucking paranoid on weed. That's the psychedelic shit. Some of us that have been smoking for a long time, we're long past that. It just, how I explain it to people that don't smoke is
but they have found that that if you're essentially like predisposed to like schizophrenia, like if you're already on that path,
you're
like
gonna be a paranoid person.
Well, weed can really highlight that. Weed can really like bring that out of you, like if that's your thing. That's why some people really do have like those crazy like episodes where they can't where they just trip out, like they just go
how about
crazy,
this?
batshit crazy, like from smoking weed, and you're like, damn, man, like.
No, I get it, yeah, but I think it's also stupid because they promote sativa for the fucking rookies, right? The people that are just getting into it. And I think that's kind of dumb, don't you think? Because sativa's the one that makes you fucking paranoid.
Yeah, sativa can make you paranoid.
Because that's the one that gets you hyped up, like on a fucking like fuzzy high, like a body high.
It's more of a upper high.
Right. So that's the one that freaks people out. I would tell people, no, try indica or try like an indica heavy hybrid. You know what I mean? To start. But I get that too. People just don't like, people that also don't smoke, if they try an indica for the first time, that's it. They'll crash out in like 10 minutes.
That's couch lock. That's that sleepy shit.
But the way I describe weed to people that don't smoke it, like the way that it functions for me, I call it fucking, for lack of coming up with a more creative term, is reverse coffee. So that's why I tell people. I was like, for me, weed is reverse coffee because I'm already a very talkative person. I'm already a very fucking high energy person.
That's a good point.
So when I go home after a long day of work, like I smoke weed to decompress, and I fucking it just mellows me out, but it doesn't take me like couch lock or just like, you ever done this on weed, man? Like it's not like half baked anymore. You know what I mean? It's just like it just brings me down. And let's say like, I can manage it like a cup of coffee. Like I could smoke a bowl, and an hour and a half later, I'm not high anymore. So I'm like, okay. And I could drink a cup of coffee, and that also takes me out of my high, I guess. So I can also control it at this point, you know? I guess there's no need to smoke like before, though. I think before it was just getting like, you were getting high just to get high to the limit before all day, every day.
Yeah, I mean, back then it was more of just like,
get fucked up.
Yeah, just have a good time, hanging out with homies. Like, that's all it was back then. But I guess now it's like more of a relaxer at times, a pain reliever at times, like a mental break sometimes.
Dude, I have my best and most creative moments when I'm high. Like, my thoughts are more clear when I'm high. That's when I come up with my best ideas. You know what I mean? That's when I'm high. Not when I'm fucking total. People need to understand, not when you're totally like killed high. Like, and so this goes with the reverse coffee analogy. Like, even if you're someone that likes coffee and needs that coffee in the morning, like, right? Like, you're going to tell yourself, people don't think that's crazy, right? When they tell you, fuck, I need a cup of coffee. Like how desperate and like addicted that sounds, right? But they'll be like, fuck, I need that cup of coffee. But even then, like, are you going to drink 4 cups of coffee in one shot just because you want coffee that bad in the morning? No. You're going to drink 1 cup, right? More than likely.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Right? So it's the same.
Mean, I'm not a normal person like that. I'm going to drink 2 or 3 cups.
In one shot? In one sitting?
Well, I'm going to drink a cup, and I'm going to go refill my cup, drink another cup.
Okay.
I mean, so over, I guess, the course of, 2 hours or so, yeah, I'll drink like 3 cups of coffee.
Okay, fuck, man. That's wild.
Right. That's why I don't really drink coffee as much anymore.
Yeah, you're fucking wild, man. But, so the point I was trying to make is like, shit. So, like, smoking doesn't have to be that way either. Like, you don't go home and just smoke like fucking 10 bowls, right?
Oh, yeah, right.
Like, right? You smoke maybe 1. Sometimes you gauge it and you're like, yeah, I could smoke another fucking bowl. I'm good. I need that other bowl. And you smoke another bowl and you're all right.
I smoke pretty much all day, every day.
Right.
I mean, because I'm not working right now, so.
Yeah, so you just chasing
So I don't
that
have.
high
So what I'm
all day.
saying, so I don't have like 8 hours committed to one place somewhere else, 8 to 10, whatever,
Just
somewhere
to
else.
sleep.
Right. So it's like I'm here all day, editing, designing, whatever. Sometimes just playing FIFA. Sometimes just browsing Twitter, whatever it is. But
Right, because you have the ability to freelance.
yeah,
A bit.
I mean, the only problem, there's a lot of problems with freelancing though.
Of course there is. Oh, shit.
I mean, over the last couple years, especially the last 2 years, like the rates have gone down crazy. Like there's so many people that are doing it now that are just picking up the shit and just fucking doing like cheap ass shit, like not even good quality shit, just cheap shit, but they're doing it for a cheap price and people are just paying for that shit. Like I seen today, somebody had posted in one of the groups that I'm in.
More groups. Reddit?
No, it's on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
And it's like a YouTube creator group.
Okay.
And some dude was like, he hit up the group asking for
some graphic design work.
No, he was asking for like a channel trailer.
Okay.
Basically just take a bunch of his videos and edit together in a trailer.
Like a montage.
Yeah, essentially, right? But it's like, dude, like I'm thinking like 10 years ago, 8 years ago or so, like, around the time like when we really started and like a little bit before when we started.
When we were doing street art.
Yeah, like, well, before that, like, it was just like, it would probably be like $500 for some shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? $500 to $1,000 for some shit like that.
That was a wild production.
Bro, like some dude, like I saw replied and like I kind of looked at his shit. I seen he went to film school and like, and his, like the, his images look good. Everything looked good, okay. Right? And he told the dudes, I'll do it for $100. And the dude was like, nah, that's too much. Like, and then a bunch of people comment like, yeah, that's way too much. One fool was like, I'll do it for $50. Another dude was like,
oh, well, of course. He opened up the door.
Yeah.
The floodgates were coming.
And another dude was like, no.
The undercuts were going to happen.
Yeah, he was like, go to Fiverr. You get it done for super cheap. And it was like, man, like.
Yeah, but that guy probably knew that too. That
no,
if he
of course,
accepted
but I'm just saying, like.
The way it's changed.
The way the game's changed is like, yeah, you could go to all these places, but you're not going to get anything dope.
Let me tell you something.
Like, this dude is charging you $100, not because he wants $100, but because he's worth at least $100.
Yeah.
And I bet you anything in his head, he's like, damn, like, what would I do that for? I'm like, I guess 100. You know what I mean? Like, it's a small task, but it's still like.
Yeah, he was probably
he's
underselling
a
himself too. He was definitely underselling himself. But you're right. You're not just getting his editing and his video skills or just the fact that you're getting his look, his style, you know what I mean?
Right.
That you're getting his image.
Exactly.
You're getting his image. So it's crazy, but they don't see it that way. But here's another thing that's crazy. Since I use Android for my phone and I take a majority of my pictures of my son or like just family shit on my phone, like every other day, all my shit gets stored automatically to Google Photos. Right. It comes with the whole Android. You have Android, so I know you have that. And so like every couple days, like Google Photos just sends me a message where it just made a montage.
Oh shit!
Out of fucking pictures that I have. And sometimes it gets pictures that I take in like those multi-snap ones. So it creates a video too.
Oh shit!
It does this whole like editing job. It's almost like the fucking. It's nuttier than Watson.
Nah, I don't know about that.
Well, it already can just make a quick video. I know it's not nuttier than Watson. I'm exaggerating, but I'm just saying like, it does that in a matter of seconds, just based on whatever the fuck, however they have that shit programmed. Because they can't be doing everybody's pictures like that.
Right.
And then another thing that's weird is they're just looking at your pictures. Too.
Yeah,
that's
but slideshow, that's trash anyway. I don't really care about that shit.
Yeah.
Most people don't.
No.
That's
silly.
why. That's
silly,
why it's like a throwaway thing from Samsung. Like, oh, we don't know what else to give them. Like, or Android. They're like, here.
No. It's silly, but my point is like you're right. Like, but even something as simple as that was hard to do back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now it just happens automatically. So people are used to just being like, hey, I can just get an app that can make that video for me. And it's true. They could probably find an app now that'll make a trailer for them. Like if they submit enough like clips that they want, it'll compose a trailer.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like that's the shit that upsets me because it's just like you're taking out the professionals, you know?
Of course, but that was gonna happen. Yeah,
you're taking out professionals like crazy.
The internet fucked a lot of shit up,
and
you had to switch over quick.
Man, like
you had to switch over quick, or you were left behind.
And if you wanna make it like in the film world, right? Like as like a grip or something like that. Like you're not necessarily on the creative side of it or in the acting. You want to make it on the film world. You just want to be part of the crew type shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like and you're new, you're young. Best shit is to just get into the computer side of things.
Yeah, like editing.
Mm-hmm.
And shit like
and not even just editing. Like I mean, like 3D modeling. And
like
that.
Just digital media in general.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
like
but more
effects,
so, into the visual effects, special effects side of things, because
even character design.
No, all that shit. Character and
storyboarding. You're basically a director, dude.
But like digital crazy. Set design type shit. You know, where you're coming up with actual digital scenes. Like let's say like for a video game, like the setting type shit, but. Not necessarily for a video game, but for like actual film because that's where it's gonna be going.
Yeah.
That's like green screen and shit like that. That shit's all ending soon. I mean, not soon, but it'll always be used, I'm sure, for basic shit. But for bigger productions and shit where they want you to be fully immersed in the actual setting, not necessarily the movie itself, but just the actual setting they want you to be in it. Yeah, green screen is going to be obsolete for that. So,
but what that's going to do too is it's going to make it available to like the general public. In terms of like
that shit, yes.
In terms of like green screen paint, like it'll be cheaper now.
Well, yeah, but it's not even nobody even gets green screen paint anymore because you could go to Amazon and just get the little flippy fold
with the fucking clips and shit.
You know what I mean? Like the little those sunscreen visors for your car that flip up and shit, like something like that. Something like that. But they got them for green screens, man. They got ones for like YouTube streamers and Twitch streamers where it like straps onto the back of your chair and it just stays with your chair like right in the back.
You're like a fucking samurai and shit.
Yeah, man. Like the green screen game is already like it's like the film camera game where it's at its peak.
Okay.
In terms of technology and all the shit surrounding it, it's essentially at its peak. Oh, so now it's time for. Now we're gonna be looking at digital green screens.
We should surround ourselves in this studio in a little green screen box, and make it look like that white room from fucking 2001, Space Odyssey. Yeah.
Just empty as fuck.
Empty and just like lights lit. We're just in the box recording an episode. Damn, that'd be sick.
But
yeah, green screens. People buy some then. Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean it's cheap on Amazon.
Visual effects. Take green videos of your kids fucking running through the Grand Canyon and shit.
And pretty much all the software now, most video editing software, all the top ones for sure, obviously have chroma key removal, which just means it'll key in on a certain color and remove that from your video image. But yeah, so there, like I seen online that there's one company for sure, and then I'm sure there's always more in the mix. But there's one company I seen for sure. They're called AR Wall. They have a bunch of YouTube videos, like showcasing their product, and essentially what it looks like is, giant like LED screens. Right, like TV screens,
like
essentially.
A video board, like
essentially, but single monitors, right? Like a stadium board, like a big LED board.
Yeah.
Like, but a wall, right? And on that, they just show like the image of the scene, right? It's a 3D modeled scene, right? And what they do is they track the camera, so the camera obviously is going to be what your perspective is in film, right? I mean, that's what you see in the background, in the foreground of the characters.
That's what you're recording with, yeah.
Right. So that's why they track the camera, and so the camera matches the actual setting. So it's like the camera is in the setting, even though you're like on set. You're not like you could make it like a Western, or like you're on a boat in the middle of the ocean, right? But you're literally just on set surrounded by TV screens, not green screens, right? Because with green screens, you have to lock off the camera, or the camera has to be on a specific marked movement, because in post they have to edit the scene to the background.
Right.
The replacement scene has to match the camera, right? Otherwise,
it has to be a little flat. You don't want shifting shadows or light.
Right, and you can't do that with like a flat image, right? So when you take a picture or when you shoot a video, that's essentially a flat image. Right. The depth is captured within the image, but the image comes out in a 2D plane, right?
That's what painting is. That's what drawing is.
Right, exactly.
2D.
Right. So what this does is, if you're doing it the old school way, the green screen way, then you're shooting on a 2D background, right? But with this new AR wall and the tracking of the camera, they're shooting with a 3D background. So it's like you're actually like in real life.
They're immersed in the environment.
Exactly.
It's like if the camera crew was just there, like at the desert.
Right. So like if you're, if you go on YouTube and just check out AR wall, it has nothing to do with Donald Trump's wall, but it's all about, and I'm assuming, I think the AR just would be augmented reality or something similar to that. Because that's kind of what it's like. It's like that augmented reality thing we were looking at.
Well, augmented reality we just know is next.
Right.
In terms of like
consumer shit and professional shit, it's going to help out in a lot of different ways. It's going to help out businesses with productivity and being able to multitask. It's going to help out in the film industry in this type of way, where the only problem with this is now now it's a different set of specialists coming into the field. So it's like, but there's going to be other specialists who are not going to be needed as much. So things are going to change a little bit. Obviously as new technology comes out, things always change.
Markets always open and close. Like that's just the nature of the beast.
So, but that's something to look out for on the horizon. And I seen like some video of it, and I mean they're really good 3D renderings of their shit, but you could tell they're fake scenes. But they're a smaller company. It's not like
I mean, I imagine, but that's still.
But what I'm saying is, it's not like they are like they're Disney or nothing like that. They're not
it's like an independent
Fox.
company.
They're not Sony. You know what I mean? They're like a small like startup company that's doing this. So this is really, really new tech. And I read in the article that they have signed with a big studio. They have signed with a big studio to, I guess, lease or use the technology or help. I don't know the details of all that, but I read in the article. So,
well, if the technology is good, naturally that was gonna happen.
Yeah. So I mean, it looks really, really good. Like on YouTube, the videos, it looks really good.
Wall, huh?
Yeah, AR wall. I've never seen anything like it.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. AR, I imagine like.
Dude, it's like putting like a VR headset on, but without having the VR headset on.
Well, that's what I was
crazy.
Gonna say. It's like it's like wearing like Google glasses.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was gonna say.
Well,
it's not. That's when I say they're selling it as the next thing. I mean, like I think that's gonna be the new cell phones and tablets and all that shit.
Oh yeah, like augmented reality devices.
Reality, yeah. Whether it be glasses or whether it be a contact lens.
The thing is, they just need to figure out a way to just simplify it to where it's not like a big ass stupid thing on my head.
You don't want
goggles on.
Goggles.
Come on, man.
I mean,
no, but I get it. I get it. But that's where they're at in the technology
but they're just
stage,
starting. But they're just starting. I'm talking about like 2050, 2060. Like, would you be surprised?
Right. Well, what's gonna be crazy about that is
talking and shit.
Like what the fuck? Doctors and scientists and stuff like that, they'll be able to like actually look at stuff in 3D models, like in their face. They're gonna be able, like, just like some Iron Man shit, like Tony Stark's like.
There's always
it's gonna be like that.
There's always gonna be good and bad with every technology.
But it's gonna be like that.
Because like the shit that's gonna suck is like, let's say, I mean, by then probably everybody will be on Facebook. It'll just be mandated.
New law.
It's a law. You have to be registered on Facebook.
Once Facebook owns the United States, there'll be a law.
Yeah. So like, people will be walking around with that little augmented reality, and as soon as they walk by you, your whole Facebook bio would pop up, and they just instantly know everything about you. Like, oh, Nathan. They even just will be like, hi, Nate. You'd be like, what the fuck? I don't know you.
Yeah,
they're wearing.
Are you?
They got that AR headset. Fuck it. Found your ass on Facebook quick, dude, with that face recognition.
Low key, like, man, like, I kind of want it. Like, it's pretty cool, but it's still really early in that tech. Really early.
Nah, that's gonna, yeah, like I said, it's gonna be a while because that early shit was weak. Those Google glasses.
Oh, yeah, that was weak.
That was weak sauce. All right.
But anyway, let's switch gears. So if you guys were driving around yesterday, especially like on the 405 and some of the major freeways around Los Angeles, and or even just outside in general in Los Angeles, you might have seen a bunch of butterflies flying by.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So a giant swarm of butterflies has arrived here in SoCal. It's they.
I heard that they ate a kid. Is that true? Or is that just one of the rumors?
Well, they ate 5 kids.
Oh, god damn. By the 405? Fuck the 405, man. See, it's cursed.
Nah, these butterflies, they're actually called painted ladies. A lot of people were mistaking them for monarch butterflies.
Oh, they look similar, though.
Yeah, they actually do look very similar. But they actually come from, like, around the U.S.-Mexico border range, just like monarchs. Because monarchs go south of the border as well. And they come up north to lay eggs, and they do the whole journey and all that shit. But the reason why they've come up is because all those crazy ass rainstorms have put out a lot of new, basically food for them. And by food, I mean just vegetation. I don't know if you guys noticed, if you guys looked out in your backyards or any places where you've normally see just dirt patches, but it's green now.
Oh yeah,
it's real green now. So.
My little backyard's a little too green.
And the time change, so it's spring's here, man. Like it's time.
It's warm. I had to wear shorts.
It's
right
time.
Now. I had to throw on some shorts when I pulled up here because it's that warm. It's gotta be like what, 70 outside right now?
No, it's not that warm. I don't think.
Come on. When I was driving up here, it was like 68. It's gotta be 70 by now.
It's probably still 68. The only problem with the butterflies is since all the rains happen and there's a lot of vegetation, that means there's going to be a lot more butterflies. So they actually they compete with each other a lot. So that means they're going to have to move further north and further north to keep trying to find food sources. And because of that, a good chunk of them are not going to make it through the next winter. But that is what it is. Yeah. That's nature for you. But but apparently in Coachella Valley is that's usually where around they lay eggs. So there's thousands and thousands and thousands of them up there flying around.
Oh, they're fucked
out there
because that festival's in like a month or some shit. They're just gonna go fuck those eggs up, man. Yeah, great. Fucking great spot painted ladies. Oh man.
Yeah, so if you guys have seen them, that's exactly what they were. They're painted ladies. At first, like, my girl told me about them, and then I went outside and I didn't see none, and then I went back outside, and then I saw what looked like a leaf falling from the sky, and it turned out that it was the butterfly, and the next thing I know, I just started seeing, like, I probably saw like 13, 14 in that first minute of just walking back outside the second time.
Oh shit!
I was like, damn. Yeah, that's why I was like, what the fuck? There's a lot.
What day was this?
Yesterday.
Oh shit! Nah.
There's probably little floaters still floated around. There's probably definitely some still out there.
Okay.
You'll probably be seeing them over at least the next couple of days. But as an adult, you know, a butterfly is the adult version of it, right? Because first it's a caterpillar,
right?
A larva, then caterpillar, and then right. But the life expectancy is 2 to 4 weeks, so just depends on how long they can survive out here in this rough fucking Coachella Valley. It's gonna be rough out there for them, boy.
They're fucked, dude. Like,
man,
once Jay-Z comes on or whatever the fuck's gonna be playing out there, like, that's it.
Bunch of hipsters out there and all that. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
I have a question. Talking about caterpillars, like, do you think the fucking butterfly remembers being a caterpillar, or do you think it's like a reincarnated life completely?
It probably remembers.
It probably doesn't. Remembers, but how though? It's something totally different.
But I wonder if it just remembers anything anyway.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. I'm not even asking it to remember anything.
But
I'm just saying, what if it just wakes up? That's your new life. You're a butterfly.
Well, my thing is like,
once a caterpillar, now you're a butterfly.
Do you remember being in the womb?
No. Then that'll be a definite no.
Then I'm gonna just go with that because that's also my experience. Okay. I'm gonna just use my experience as the basis of this because so far there hasn't been any evidence proving of it.
But,
either way.
But the womb would be equivalent to the cocoon. But it was But it was a caterpillar before it became the cocoon. So what were we before that? So it could still go in.
Well, do you remember when you were the sperm?
Oh my, yeah, I guess it's the sperm. God damn it.
So, same thing.
I mean, I guess I know. At least history notes that, I mean, I was the fastest swimmer, I guess. So, yeah, I mean, world champ swimmer and shit.
Damn, nice. Imagine, like, being the world champ swimmer there, and then, like, you end up being, like, the world champ swimmer, like, in the Olympics. Like damn, Michael Phelps, you're the fastest swimmer of all fucking time. Like,
in the history of the universe.
Right.
Like, damn, you're just meant to just kill.
That's crazy.
Wow, you're a fucking fish.
Yeah. Part fish. That's crazy.
That is crazy. Wow. But the weather is back. I see you're still drinking those fucking 8-ounce strong hot chocolates, though.
Bomb.
What is that? Shout out to Swiss Miss or what?
I found some other ones in there. They have you got a bunch of little things at the bottom of that box of the Keurig.
Something golden.
Yeah, there's something in there. But
what did you find down there?
Man, there's a chai lattes in there. All kinds of shit.
Oh, the chai latte one is good. Have you tried that?
No, I haven't tried it yet.
Tholy shit, that one's good.
But yeah, there's a chai latte, and then there's an espresso one in there, too.
Oh, the espresso one's pretty strong, though.
Yeah, it is. I tried that one.
That one's fucking strong.
Well, of course I'm going to try that one.
I like it.
Yeah, that one was cool. It
needs, like, a little bit of milk or something. It's one of those that just needs, like, a splash.
Yeah, it needs some sugar. That's what it needed.
I don't fuck with sugar.
It needs some sugar.
I don't do sugar. I've mostly cut sugar out of my life. It wasn't easy, but I've mostly done it. And I feel a lot better for it, for sure. In a weird way. I mean, not in a weird way, but...
No, in the right way.
In a way where it's just like, of course you expect it, but you don't fully expect it to feel that great. You're just like, yeah, I could see where it makes someone feel great. But then you feel it, and you're like, holy shit, no, this is like life-changing great. Like, I feel a lot more energy in situations where I probably have no business having that energy. And coping with it a bit.
Man, so a lot of talk been going on lately about Liverpool's game coming up.
With Bayern?
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yep. And a lot of people, like I see on Twitter, like don't think that Liverpool's gonna get it done.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Fuck all that.
But so that shit should be very interesting. I hope it's on TNT. I hope TNT isn't trying to give me like Barca or something like that. I don't want to watch that. I want to watch the Liverpool game. But we'll see. I think everybody's back except Joe is still out. And Ox actually got some run with the under 23s. The other day.
So we need to let people know who don't know. If Liverpool lose tomorrow, they're eliminated.
Yeah.
From this tournament. So it's do or die. Right now, currently today in the Champions League, right now Juventus is playing Atletico Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
And Juventus is winning 2-0.
Damn, they ended up scoring 2 goals.
And Atletico was already up 2 from the previous game. So it depends on away goals now.
And Madrid actually had a goal turned away early on in the game.
So who would go in that case, or they would just go to penalties?
Or maybe Juve did. I think Juve had the
And it's in the 84th minute right now.
Damn.
And your boy Cristiano scored both.
Yeah?
goals. Yeah.
Damn.
In the 27th minute and in the 49th.
Alfo's working on that hat trick. He's trying to get that. He's trying to establish himself.
Yeah, he's trying to move on.
Yeah.
What if they end up in the final? These are dream finals for me. Liverpool versus, because of course I'm gonna see Liverpool in the final in my fantasy. Right. What the fuck? Of course.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck? Don't anybody dare tell me shit. So, Liverpool versus Juve, or Liverpool versus Barca?
Yeah, I'd rather see Barca.
That's my dream final.
I'd rather see Barca. Just because there's a lot of storylines there. It's more interesting. It seems like it'd be a more fun game. Like, everybody be tuned into that shit.
Oh, of course.
Everybody be tuned into that shit.
That's an epic game.
That's a poppin'-ass game. Because everybody's going to want to see what Messi's going to do. I want to see what Virgil's going to do to Messi and to Suarez. And maybe Coutinho maybe plays if he doesn't get moved.
Yeah, who knows?
No, he won't get moved by then, but still. Maybe he plays. But it would be nice to see Liverpool win for sure.
I mean, well, that's why those are my my dream games, because I think those will be the two best played games, or two best matched opponents, to make it a fun game, an interesting game, a competitive game, not an easy game either. So that's interesting.
Yeah, no, that's definitely interesting though, because it could actually be that. Like, that's what makes it interesting, is it could actually be those squads, like that matchup. If Liverpool, because Liverpool and Bayern is still 0-0 aggregate, so whoever wins this game wins it. So it's a knockout game for both of them.
Yeah.
So, and then, damn, Man City, wow. I'm just looking at the Man City scores in the 88th minute, and they
6-0.
7-0.
7-0 now?
7-0.
That means on aggregate, I think they're winning 10.
10-2.
Oh, my. Wow.
10-2.
Sounds like a fucking baseball
Hey,
score.
but the Schalke fans got it popping, though, before the game, so props to them.
How many people died?
I don't know, but they were, if you check on Twitter for them, like their fans, like their supporters were going nuts. Like, they were doing the songs, everything in the streets, but it was like choreographed nutty. Like, it looked dope. Like,
now Schalke is a serious football club.
No, they were on it. They were dope.
That's one of the bigger football clubs in Germany.
They were fun to watch. That's for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, they better give us Bayern and Liverpool and not Barca and Lyon. Lyon.
Whatever fucking happens.
No, I don't. Not whatever happens. See, I'm saying TNT better show that Liverpool game instead.
Oh, no. I thought you meant for
like in the finals?
in the next. In the next round.
Oh yeah. Don't give us Barca in the next round.
Yeah, give us Lyon. Give us
Tottenham. Give us Tottenham.
Give them Tots.
Tottenham or Porto. Or
the fucking bakery?
Shit, I'll take Juve too. Fuck it. Shoot them.
Oh, okay.
Shoot them early.
Okay.
But just save United and Barca for the end. I'll take either one of those for the ending. Damn, imagine United though. Imagine if it's United though. Shit, that's another one that's another one that'll go crazy.
Just so people understand, like, Liverpool versus Manchester United is like equivalent to Lakers Celtics, to
Yankees Red Sox.
shit for fans of the Spanish league to Real Madrid, Barca.
Yep.
Like,
it's the number one rivalry.
This is the number one rivalry in English football.
Yeah.
So
it's the top dog.
For them to meet in a major tournament is crazy too. That's fuck.
Yeah, in the final, if they meet in the final of this shit.
Oh my goodness. And it'd be an all English final. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
It'd be super crazy. I think it could happen though. I don't know I don't know how it plays out from here. I don't know who's gonna get who, but I hope that they save either Barca. I hope Barca and United are on a different lane than the Liverpool lane, so we end up meeting one of them in the finals.
Yeah, in the draw. Yeah.
I just hope it just works out the opposite way. Just boom, boom, and we're good. Because I would really like to see that. I'd really, really like to see that. That'd be dope. But I guess that's going to wrap up episode 10 of the We Don't Know Stuff podcast. So if...
A legit wrap up this time?
Yeah, not like last episode where we tried to wrap up like 10 times and never got to it.
Man,
this time we actually don't have much to talk about. But
how far in are we?
We're about a little over an hour.
Okay.
It's a little shorter one today. We'll just call it an average one. How about that?
It was a good episode. It was a nice little explanation of like psychedelics and like weed and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's weird too because I wasn't a big legalize it supporter the closer it got to it, to be honest. Cuz I didn't think it would be consumed responsibly.
Well, what, cannabis?
Yeah. I thought it was still just going to get a bad rap because unfortunately there is a lot of just stoner fucking people that don't do shit and are just fucking.
Next episode,
we'll talk about the cannabis industry.
Yeah, I want to go in because I've worked in this new legalized industry, and I kind of want to talk about a little bit about what I've seen in my experiences. Not too much, but more so I want to talk about, the good, the bad, and the ugly of California cannabis regulations. Okay. So I think we can really jump in on that on the next episode. Just so I can come with some nice juicy facts and some details.
We're going to get some research done here.
Yeah. What? Yeah, definitely going to be doing some research on this one. So I guess that does finally wrap us out for the 10th episode of the We Don't Know Stuff podcast. If you're listening on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you always get notified. If you are listening on your favorite podcast app, make sure you subscribe. And make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, like our Facebook page.
All that lovely noise.
All the socials.
Yeah.
And holla at us. Late.
Peace.
Get back.